Between you and me, have you ever felt like last minute changes are ruining your day, potentially putting everything that you're doing or have already completed at risk? Might you even feel resentful, wondering why couldn't the customer figure this out sooner? If you felt this way, stick around and let's have a chat about how this perspective could potentially lose you customers and increase the probability of your AI initiatives failing. Instead of this perspective, what if I told you that late breaking changes can be one of your biggest advantages? Or more specifically, how you handle them can be your advantage. The second principle doesn't just tolerate changes, it welcomes it. Even late in delivery, doesn't matter. Agile sees the situations as opportunities to create a real competitive edge to strengthen our partnership with our customers. The second Agile principle says that we welcome changing requirements, even late in delivery, and that agile processes harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. This principle reminds us that change is a constant, and especially when we're dealing with complex work, we should expect it, not be surprised by it. Markets are constantly evolving, technologies change, and customers' expectations and needs shift. They're oftentimes surprised they didn't expect, and they happen. Instead of resisting these changes, agile teams use these opportunities to deliver even greater value. What greater value then we weren't expecting, and we delivered what the customer needed. This approach acknowledges that the most successful products and services adapt to the customer's needs over time rather than sticking rigidly to initial plans. It's living within the reality of world. Change happens. When changes arise late in the delivery, organizations often hesitate. And this is a programming that we have from Waterfall. In Waterfall, we've said it before, it deals with simple and complicated work where we can come up with plans and expect to deliver to those plans. But when we're dealing with complex and chaotic work, there are too many variables. We have to assume that things are going to change. The waterfall perspective is that we've already sunk costs. We can miss our deadlines, and the completed work could be obsolete. We may have to pivot. Pivoting is viewed as a bad thing, as something to avoid. Agile sees this completely differently. Agile challenges this mindset by asking one critical question: what serves the customer right now? If adapting the work already done ensures success, then that's the path that we need to follow, even if it's uncomfortable. By embracing this flexibility, teams prioritize outcomes over outputs, strengthening their ability to deliver meaningful value. Building trust is a key benefit from this principle. Customers value that remaining adaptable and focused on their success is something that builds a relationship. They remember this. Instead of the rigidity, adhere to agreements made at the beginning, which leads them to something that doesn't help them, that doesn't deliver the value that they need. The trust that we build translates into stronger relationships and deeper collaboration, paving the roadway for future long-term success and relationship. It moves us from a transactional relationship of just completing the work and moving on to truly having a relationship, a partnership with our customers. Try to think in simple terms. If you had a situation where you needed a dress or a suit fitted, you go to the tailor and they take your measurements and they tell you to come back. And the day before you are to pick up your dress or suit, you break a leg and you walk in with a broken leg. A vendor who prioritizes their plan above your needs will tell you, so sorry, I delivered what I told you. Have a nice day. And that leaves you with a big problem and a garment that you can't use. Now, what do you do for your event? If instead that vendor looks at you and says, "Oh, I'm not sure what I can do." Well, what I could do is I could remove the stitches, put an elastic, and then once you're well, come back and I'll stitch it back together. You'd be thrilled. You have the garment that you can use, and you don't have a headache to deal with and be concerned for your event. This is the kind of mindset. This is what happens when we put the customer needs above the plan. And this adaptability creates a competitive advantage where others may not do that and you do it. The customers are going to remember, and that will give you the competitive advantage. Agile processes position the teams to quickly respond to these changes and the opportunities that they arise, as opposed to our competitors that may decide to stick to the inflexible plan. When agile teams pivot, they deliver what matters most to customers at the moment that they need it. And this reminds responsiveness not only meets the current needs, but it positions the customers to thrive in dynamic markets, which is exactly what we need, especially as we're dealing with AI work. AI work has so much change, constantly changing. The innovation often renders yesterday's plans obsolete. To pretend to come up with a comprehensive plan and execute step by step is not realistic. It's not practical. Agile teams working in AI must accept that frequent adjustments are not just necessary, they're inevitable. And whether we're incorporating a breakthrough in AI capabilities or addressing unexpected ethical concerns or safety or anything that's dangerous, the ability to adapt ensures that the teams stay aligned with both the customer needs and broader societal expectations. This principle challenges organizations that are accustomed to fixed requirements and an execution plan. And for AI initiatives, staying rigid is risky. The complexity of this work demands fluidity, constant learning, and an openness to change. Without these qualities, teams may produce deliverables that are irrelevant or worse, detrimental. To implement this principle effectively, you want to build clear, open feedback loops that surface changing needs early. If we're not checking constantly with our customer, we are creating the conditions to find out later. So make sure that you're constantly talking. That will help reduce the impact of late breaking changes. Embed flexibility into your planning. Always assume that you're going to need to make mid-course corrections. So assume, plan for, be prepared to pivot. Communicate openly with your stakeholders about the potential for changes and why we value that, why that it's in our best interest, in the company's best interest. And whenever there's a change and the team succeeds at incorporating it and responding to it, celebrate it. If all that we do is we communicate to the teams that they have to deliver to the plan, deliver, 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 the plan, the plan, the plan, if that's all that they hear, they're going to tune out of the opportunity. They're not going to see the opportunity to meet the customer needs when it arises. Instead, they're going to be programmed to sticking with the plan, missing those opportunities. This is exactly what happens from always having the expectation that the plan is what's valued. We get, we are reinforcing, we're rewarding the mindset that's always sticking to the plan, not to adapt and fulfill the customer's needs. When we focus on the customer outcomes rather than the milestones or deliverables, that's what we want to celebrate. That's what we want to reward. So the big question is, how is your organization currently handling these? How is the organization reacting to changing requirements, especially when they're late? Are you prepared to welcome it, or do you prefer to stick to the plan and tell the customer, have a nice day? So share your experiences, your comments, your thoughts. We'd love to hear about it. And as we implement this, we need to learn how to have that customer perspective and how to align with our customer needs. So to find out more about that, take a look at one of these and I'll tell you all about it.